Hi everyone! Thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel. If you are interested in getting a reading with me, I do tarot readings with Psychic Insight, and you can email me at plpearlwitz@gmail.com. Right now I'm doing 35 minutes for $50, and I do pre-recorded or Zoom. And please send me your birth chart info, meaning your birth date, time, and place. And I love working with everyone. So if we already know each other and maybe you're hesitant about sharing personal things, which always comes out in the reading, just know that it's sort of like a therapy session, and that what's said in the tarot reading stays in the tarot reading, because it does dive deep into sort of your psychology and what's going on. So I just want to assure you that you have my confidence that you have my sworn secrecy in terms of your life situation. So I wanted to share a couple things that are happening today. Jupiter is semi-square Uranus. So I believe Jupiter is in Aries and Uranus is in Taurus or something like that. Anyway, so Taurus is in Uranus. So that could be some friction in terms of taking responsibility versus having unique, innovative ideas. So there could be some sort of tension there in terms of the self, right? Jupiter in Aries, in terms of the leadership that you are, going into the world with, because Aries is about leadership. Could be that you're needing to take a more realistic look at your situation in terms of finances, in terms of responsibilities, and also just seeing from a new point of view. Definitely don't, this is not a time to make choices that are spur of the moment or rash, as the square there with Uranus. Uranus is very unexpected change. So definitely take your time today is my advice. Take your time in considering the factors in your life and how you might take responsibility for them, and how you also might see your situation in a unique and new way. So we also have an innovation, there's also a restlessness and unfocusedness, even a sense of things being unfocused, even though you want things to grow with the Jupiter there. Jupiter is about expansion. So sorry, that was just a little more about that. Venus is going to be going from Virgo to Libra, I think tomorrow or within the next couple of days. So right now, the Sun is in Libra, which means that we're going to look to where Venus is, right? So Venus is right now in Virgo. So this is going to put, obviously, the Sun in Virgo puts focus on the relationships and the balance and also legal matters. Also the arts, beauty, money. But in Virgo there's a sort of, not parsimonious, but there's an attitude of punctiliousness, like very, like Virgo is a very exacting sign, right? So with Venus in Virgo and Sun in Libra, we may be really concerned with our routine, with perfectionism within relationships, and with communication in relationships as well. And really the health of our relationships, the routines and the daily matters that we go through with our loved ones. And Venus in Virgo is ruling a little bit with an iron fist. I always say a person with Venus in Virgo treats love like a job. So that could be a mentality that we're all taking on for this little sequence until Venus turns into Libra. Then there's going to be much more harmony and perhaps more socialization and partnership, which is going to be happening in the next couple of days. Also, the moon is in Scorpio and Pluto is in Capricorn and Mars is in Gemini. So So the moon in Scorpio really begs us to go deeper into the psychological sort of corners of our life, to investigate, to research, and to consider the intensity of intimacy with Pluto in Capricorn. It's the intimacy is going to have to do sort of with career aspects, actually. So we may be seeing how and with the Mars and Gemini, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. We may be seeing how actually neighbors or people nearby or close by, or friends, or sort of sibling-esque relationships are influencing our mood, and how with Capricorn, with Pluto and Capricorn, and the moon in Scorpio. Remember, Scorpio will be answering to Pluto, so there could be a little bit of intensity there in terms of being driven, in terms of making goals. So keep that in mind. And in terms of the numerology today, it's the 28th. 2 is a number of partnership, obviously, and duality, and 8 is a number of regeneration and rebirth, and then added together they add to 1, because we have 8 and 2 is 10, and then reducing that to 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. So really it's a day of beginnings, a day of fresh starts, and a day of perhaps being alone, a day of focusing on the self and all the things of the first house, which will be about the self and the identity, and even the appearance. Could be a day to go to the beauty parlor. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. Also, the North Node is in Taurus right now, which I don't know if I've talked about that before, but the South Node would be in Scorpio for the collective. So that means the trauma and the psychological torment of our past is sort of being left behind, and we're moving towards actually the idea of wealth and financial gain and property. Everyone as a collective is moving towards sort of youth or youthfulness. Remember, Taurus is spring and youthfulness, and then moving away from winter. The symbolic winter is Scorpio, representing trauma. So yeah, it's a really interesting time post-COVID. So some of the cards we got the current state of Ace of Wands reversed. So this could be a time, and this is in the, the current state position. We have some, maybe feeling that we can't take a stand in our lives. We can't reach sort of for that inspiration. And what's crossing us is the Wheel of Fortune. So this really is actually some sort of positive gain coming towards us in our lives. What hangs over the reading is the Seven of Swords. So this could be thinking that you're getting away with something that you shouldn't be doing, or shifty behavior, or maybe noticing someone else's shifty behavior. In the distant past or the root of the situation, we have Queen of Wands reversed. So there could be a female person, or this could be an aspect of the self that is sort of angry and is actually ruling with her anger over a situation. Recent past, we have Seven of Cups reversed, so we're seeing through illusion and fantasy. When the illusion is shattered, all of our delusions become clear. In the future, we have Two of Swords, so we have indecision and being sort of stuck, being in between two choices, or feeling like a stalemate. In the current state, we have Ten of Swords reversed. So really coming out of a time, releasing from a time of torment, of inner torment, and perhaps nightmares or self-torment or deep mental pain. We're coming out of that. And, 10 is also completion and finalization of a situation. The environment is Six of Cups reversed, so it's really about nostalgia and thinking of the past, wondering about the past, good times gone by, perhaps romance, in youthful romance. inner thoughts, hopes, and fears are 10 of Cups. So your focus, whoever's watching this, is really about that fulfillment of family and happy family life that is emotionally fulfilling, and also, with the 10, that you are coming full circle with a situation in the family, perhaps generationally, perhaps your family is sort of like bringing things together. To contextualize that, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. So missed opportunity is perhaps something that you're considering as being problematic. We also have the Five of Swords. There could have been some mental argument or verbal disagreement between you and a group. Overall, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. So this is about training for an artisan craft in the cards, but really it's any job or skill, training for it, and building an apprenticeship and gaining from that apprenticeship. Also, the Eight is obviously about regeneration and rebirth, but in the reverse, this is really about feeling like maybe you're not in the right career, maybe you're not on the right financial path. So that was a lot, but I think overall from the tarot, what I get is a lot of feelings of indecision, a lot of perhaps fear about a set career path. And I'm going to get just a few of these cards here, which are oracle cards, to contextualize and close the reading. Stay open-minded. And easy does it. Unag. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. And then we also got recognize your emotional triggers from the DBT book deck. 27. Recognize your emotional triggers. Think about a recent upsetting situation. Ask yourself, what happened? How did I feel? What kinds of urges did I have? How did I react? How did my reactions affect me later? Identify as many triggers and impulses as you can and be aware of them in the future. Right, so in terms of how these relate to the tarot reading that we just did, which really seemed to be about perhaps worry about finances, or because we ended with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, or indecision, or even feeling overcome by others. Perhaps there's a group or a crowd that you are not getting along with, or that you feel overtaken by, or you feel like these people have stolen your confidence. That could be, or they've been so disrespectful that you feel disgusted by them, with the Five of Swords reversed. And with the Five of Swords reversed that we just had, I also recommend, just sort of containing yourself. Do not cast pearls before swine. So what I mean by that is from the Bible. What I mean by that is, do not offer your verbal wisdom, or even your verbalization, or even anything energetically to others who are not reciprocating, or who are taking what they want and not asking, or others who are acting rudely, cruel, or with disregard to others, disregard to the needs or feelings of others. We don't need to speak to those people. So in terms of realizing our emotional triggers, so I don't know what the situation was, but from the cards, it seems like there was maybe a verbal disagreement with a group that was like a battle. And I think that it's sort of affecting your self-esteem in terms of your path, in terms of your career, or where you're going in your life. Perhaps these people are putting you down, or saying disparaging comments. I think that in terms of this situation, it's really important to realize there's so many levels and layers of our feelings. So often when someone triggers us, or something triggers us, we want to go back. Why is this triggering me? Is this reminding me of something from my childhood, from my past? And then we're going to drop into that child self, and we're going to ask that child self, what are you feeling? Not even the logistics of it, but children can only think in those sort of basic terms. So ask the child self, what am I feeling right now? Is it a deep fear, a deep longing, a rejection? It could be so many things. And so many of us from childhood, if you went to the public school system, especially, there's a lot of trauma from groups that happens in the school system. So that's just one thought I have in terms of recognizing emotional triggers that could be on both ends of the situation in terms of you and the group. There could be huge triggers that are being sort of set off that you want to take a minute and realize that, yes, it is about the situation, but there's also layers deep below that that are about other situations in the past. In terms of easy does it, there is a perfect timing. So just like the seasons change, spring comes when it's springtime, fall comes when it's fall, and there's no other time that it could come. So think about that in terms of your life. And in terms of staying open-minded, with the Uranus semi-square to Jupiter, there is a possibility to have mind-opening experiences right now that change our perception. So think of this sort of situation that was described in the cards, where we're feeling less than confident about our career, we're feeling sort of attacked by a group or taken over by a group. And with today being numerology 1 day, really listening to the self. What does the inner child want, and what does the adult self want? In transactional analysis, which was created by Eric Berne in the 70s, there's tons of modalities that sort of replaced contemporary therapy. But that modality, we are always operating from the child self, the parent self, or the adult self. So if you can feed all those parts of you today, there might be an integration and a way to sort of be open-minded about your situation and to see from a different perspective that perhaps maybe the group that you were interacting with felt incredibly threatened by you. That could be one thought. Yeah, I'm going to get a closing message from my cards here, my Oracle deck pile. Ooh. Tibetan Black Quartz, light up your spiritual path. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says, could I be even clearer right now? Put it wherever you're looking to elevate the vibe, operate on a higher plane, and explore the vastness of your human consciousness. And it says to use it when you're pulling tarot cards. That's funny. Yeah, so lighting up your spiritual path, right? So in that reading, we had a bunch of cards that were Pentacle and Swords, which is about the swords as thoughts and the pentacles as things, materiality. So really for me, from my perspective as a reader, whoever's watching this, you're caught up in the thoughts about materiality, which is, such a common thing for human beings. But we want to realize that we're on a spiritual path. We're on a path that is divine, that, there's things beyond the thought process. There's things beyond the material. There's other things. There's spirit. So we want to connect with that and with feelings. So yeah, that's the cards I'm getting for you today. And the last card, just want to pull this, reconciliation. So even if we can't reconcile with others, we can always reconcile with ourselves. And we can forgive ourselves and forgive others. Often forgiveness is not about continuing a relationship. It's about letting go of resentment and healing ourselves. So yeah, thanks so much, and I hope you have a great day.